Hello there guys, Bilbo10000 here, bringing you episode 16 of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In this episode, we're going to start the third class trial and try to find out who killed Hifumi and Taka. Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they were gathered by the Red Door. And as soon as we were all there...
Monokuma appears!
Okay, I'm just gonna ignore this. Hello! He's multiplied?
Wrong.
Nope, not multiplication. It just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast, it only looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? I don't care. Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy, tough crowd.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay. Hey!
Then if everyone's here, ready to go, please board the pain train or elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we?
Please.
Hold on, I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already, I didn't do it, for serious. That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume or the note? Well, no, but... How unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey,
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka. The one who killed our two friends. The killer is... you! Someone right here. It looks like there's only 8 of us. Shouldn't there be 9 of... wait. No, there is 8 of us. Wow, that's weird. Damn. Let's just head straight in. I'm not interested in talking. And let's go. Woohoo! Uh-huh. Oh boy. Here we go. Down to the third class trial. I wonder what the classroom's gonna look like this time. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. Alright, so guys, you may as well put in your comments right now, who do you think the killer is? If you already know, no spoilers please. I'm gonna try and not spoil anything for you guys. Let's go. Oh, what a lovely room. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you. Why? Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around to begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm gonna start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. So the curtain opened again. On blah blah blah, class trial. Many deadlies. Save it on prologue end. Alright, let's check my skills, because I think I got a few more. Pop you in. Do we have any more skills that we can set up? Neural liberation, I think we can do. Is there any more? No, that's it. What do they do, actually? I never checked. Menacing focus. Increases the focus gauge. And menacing liberation? Or neural liberation. Decreases slowly during concentration, fever time. Okay, good. Let's go! Class trial, all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the
Alright,
class
let's just
trial.
skip the basic explanation.
If you can, I'll punish every... Now then, to begin with...
we already know who did it.
Okay, fair enough, Aoi.
Was that?
Yeah.
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
That is true.
Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't. Someone knocked me out. I was asleep the whole time. I don't know anything about it.
See, I feel like he's telling the truth. I feel like he's telling the truth because he's too dumb to pull off a murder plot.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a
Are
murderer?
they really arguing?
I am sorry to say, Hero, but we do have evidence.
That is true.
Blueprints for the suit.
Yep. Can I set this onto auto? I don't know.
Parts we assume were used to build
That's
it.
true.
And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
That is also true.
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
He is very confused. And obviously, we can't suspect the first person in the trial of being the killer, because that's not how Danganronpa works. Alright, let's get started. What are we going to be using for this one? Make your argument. Robo Justice costume, Yasuhiro's message. I feel like the costume's going to be important here, so...
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you
Okay.
are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
What's the break here?
Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Okay, what? Okay, Yasuhiro's message. That's what I want to use, I think. Compelling evidence that Hiro is the killer. Is that really true?
Everything we found in your room.
Is it this? No, it's not. Your meaningless words tire me. Please stop wasting my time.
Shoot!
Damn. Alright, let's take a look at the
Everything we found
stuff again. Yasuhiro's message. Let's go to that one. Okay. Yasuhiro's message. The note he got to meet in the dining hall. The handwriting. Okay, so it's not that. Okay. These are the blueprints for Justice Room. No one but Yasuhiro could fit in here. Right. It might be the fact that...
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
No, that didn't work. Okay.
Shoot!
Okay, I'm gonna figure it out. Don't worry.
Everything we found in your room.
Come on. Nope, that didn't work. That really didn't work.
Shoot!
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We can do that.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you
Oh my
are
god,
the
no!
culprit.
Why do I...
It's not true. It's
Hero, why?
no. Just hold on a second.
Yeah, this is not going well. This is a really good start, Billy.
Everything we found in your room.
No, that wasn't it. Okay.
Shoot!
I don't know what the game wants from me right now. I have no idea.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit
Oh,
parts,
the
they are
message!
all proof-
Different handwriting. I'm such a freaking dumbass. Oh, of course.
Are we sure Hiro really
Yeah,
made
because the
those
blueprint,
blueprints?
handwriting is different to Hiro's actual handwriting. I'm such a dumbass. Oh.
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
Yeah.
The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting.
Thank you
anyway.
very much, Hiro. You've proven my point. You're a fucking
Makoto.
dumbass.
Are you saying you don't think Hero's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo Justice suit?
That was Hiro.
Is it like Hero said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
That was definitely
The
Hiro.
suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto.
So? Who was in the Robo Justice suit?
It was Hiro. It could only have been Hiro,
got
the
it.
Illuminati.
Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
You
Come on,
just
Byakuya,
said
be
Hero
good.
didn't do it.
Be a good boy.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice suit.
Oh.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of
And
the
what
way.
do you want to clarify, Byakuya? I think my dog agrees as well. What do you want to clarify?
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
Oh.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
The top and the gurney.
It would seem that his
Or the
corpse
dolly.
was moved using certain particular items.
Yeah, the top and the dolly.
Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Yeah, I know what they were. It was the... Okay, let's... the top.
I got it!
Yep. And the dolly. Gotta find the dolly now. The repository dolly.
I got
Ha!
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
Eh.
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository.
Yes.
And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
Yes. Indeed.
It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment
And he
room.
said that he'd seen a familiar one, yeah.
So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body.
But it was... Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's down there on the right. It looks kind of flat, but you can see it right there. Ah.
But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository,
So did the dolly.
so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's
Yeah, it was.
body?
We just saw it in a flashback.
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Okay, fuck you, Celeste. I went out of my way to be your friend.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Oh. Alright, how am I gonna... Okay, bullet time battles. But bullet time battles? Why are we going into a bullet time battle now? No, I don't want to hear. Why are we going into a bullet time battle? This is not the time, Celeste. It's so early.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch.
I'm in, like, mega mode or
I
something.
cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree.
I just have to spam
You
it,
are a
really.
fool. So pathetic.
I think it's tab
Lies
that I
will
have to
get you
press to
nowhere.
refuel
Do your
my
worst.
bullets, but I was too scared, so I just went into mega mode, and mega
miserable
mode
wretch.
just isn't ending.
I
Because of
cannot
my
agree.
skill.
You are a
Oh,
fool.
no wonder. Final strike. The equipment
I
room
cannot
bloodstain.
agree.
This should prove it.
Right, because the bloodstain was like, it was like wheeled out.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
Let's go, Makoto. Let's show her.
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room, and as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Wow.
Well, anyway, That was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Sakura, voice of reason.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
Is it because the suit couldn't
If you
bend?
look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Yeah, the suit couldn't bend. Like, at the waist, the suit literally just couldn't bend. It was impossible. So, we'd have to use the costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
That is true.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the bot, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Nope. Oh, well, yes. Ha. Ha.
Shoot!
Ah, I feel I just want to test out the other one. I want to
As
test
we
out the
know,
blueprints.
Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there,
Well, let's
Yeah,
read through it all
the
first.
culprit
Let's listen to it
wrapped
all.
the body in the tarp, then loaded it on.
now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. All you'd have to
Do is bend
but you
over.
can't do that in the Robo Justice costume.
No, that's wrong.
Because the Robo Justice costume can't let you
You're
bend.
absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
But
But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together.
oh, sorry, Makoto. Yep, blind as a bat, can't see a thing. Can't even bend, yeah.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist.
That's true.
Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Theory disproven.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Bending over.
What's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
The costume couldn't have been taken off because once it's on, you can't take it off. Oh.
Shoot!
Okay, so I picked... Oh, wow, I'm almost dead. Because you can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. Yeah, you couldn't get it off. The latch was stopping it.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
You were there.
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
Yes.
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
Which means that it had to be anyone else. So I feel like they're gonna suspect Kyoko now.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Celeste, why are you being so, like, antagonistic with us today? She's,
all
like,
got a
confronting
good
us at
look it,
everything.
Did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
Yeah, he said the guy hit me. Robo Justice.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Owie, you are literally going with the crowd right now.
Hold on a second.
It's obviously not
Still
Hero.
far too early to reach that conclusion.
Thank you, Kyoko.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
Yeah.
Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
Yeah, no.
All right then.
Doubt it.
Let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. So we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
Yep.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
But where did you go?
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library.
Where he was, like, beat up and bandaged, yeah.
He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect.
Where is all this going? We
But
know all
not
this.
long after leaving the nurse's office,
Yep, Shadow, top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor.
We know
and soon
this.
After that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd.
Yep, we know that. You yelled, we got the flashback. This is basically what we did with Sakura last episode.
and then
And we heard why do we need the flashback? We really don't need it. Just say Hifumi screamed.
at that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura,
Yeah, they went off to the
Byakuya-
suspect. Yeah, this... Come on.
When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
But that's when we found Taka dead.
meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
Yeah.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
This was about the body being taken away.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
Then the Taka vanished.
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time,
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I'm not gonna lie, the killer for this case is
I think that about
startlingly
covers
obvious, even though I know who the killer is.
I see.
It's so sad.
The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Yeah, they seem pre-planned.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Alright.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of the case, I have to find them no matter what. Taka is interesting because he apparently was killed at a different time, if we're going by the Broken Watch. Or Broken Watch.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Wait for it.
Because of the numbering of the
Justice hammers.
What? No! Oh, oh. Oh no.
Shoot!
Oh no, a game over, guys. Oh no, guys! Oh no! What? No, 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 no. It's not me. Guys, it's not me. It's not me. What, why? What? No. No, please.
Is this...
Want to give it another shot? Yes!
I refuse to give up yet.
I can't give up now. It'll just literally, the game over reverts us straight back to where we were. So it's okay. There's literally no penalty for getting a game over, except a few less mono coins. I'm pretty sure it is the broken wristwatch.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed in.
Nope, that didn't work either, so I assume there was something else I had to wait for. Yep, okay.
Shoot!
Alright, so let's just skip ahead a bit.
So, I wonder if... Or perhaps it was... We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that Hifumi was killed while Taka's death came.
See?
Oh.
So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay. So we got Monokuma's file. Cause a blow was a death to the head, it was a similar weapon. And then what is my other option? It is Yasuhiro's message. Yasuhiro's message is a
I
freaking
wonder
joke.
if he died before Hifumi.
Oh, it's an
Or
absorb
perhaps
bullet.
We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that Hifumi.
Okay,
while
I
Taka's death.
think I need to
So
to
it's
absorb what
obvious
order
Taka
and then shoot the numbering.
So,
Regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What
Alright.
makes you say?
Because of the numbering of the.
Justice hammers.
Yes, that was it.
No,
Yes.
that's wrong.
Brilliant.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Yeah.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that Taka was killed before Hifumi. It's his broken wristwatch. It's got to be the broken wristwatch. That's what I think it is. The wristwatch. Wristwatch. Where's my W? S. Where's my T? W again. Where's my T again? I need a C now. God, I hate this Hangman's Gambit. It's just so boring. You're just waiting for letters to appear.
Now I understand.
I understand.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch.
There you go.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
it must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
There's a flashback to, it was 10 o'clock bedtime. We know this. This was in the last episode.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
Yes.
And that would be his official time of death.
Yep.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice
Yep.
hammers.
They were there
That's
just
exactly
to
why
throw us off the
culprit wrote
scent.
the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
Yep.
Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder.
Hifumi.
But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
But are we? Are we really?
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office,
and that's where we found his body.
His dead body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or
Shut up.
something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the
That's
tape?
true.
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment
How did it all
room.
happen?
At that time, we
Are
were
you
all
piecing
gathered
together the pieces
together
yet,
in the
guys?
nurse's
'Cause I
office
have.
Because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body.
Yeah, Hifumi was just too big.
Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his
that's true
body
as well.
disappeared.
Ha.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their
But
bodies.
someone had to have done it.
On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they
Kyoko?
most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles.
That's true.
So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
No matter what the evidence came, we just didn't know.
And according to what Celeste said,
Could not have been gone for more than a minute or two. And the killer got in.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
I mean, Sakura probably could, but I don't think she's
Well-
the killer.
What if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Okay, what are you thinking of, Kyoko?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Is she suggesting that Hifumi wasn't dead? That makes sense because of the glasses cleaner that we found in the bin of the surgery room or the nurse's office. It had blood on it. It was obviously Hifumi's because it had the little pretty Princess Pudgy thingy on it. And then he didn't have the blood in his glasses when he was in the repository. So Hifumi could have been alive that time.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
But if that's the case, he might have been an accomplice.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
It makes sense.
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
Oh.
That it isn't possible.
It's completely possible. I'm guessing the glasses thing is about to pop up. What fun. Celeste account, equipment room, it'd have to be Celeste account unless
Are you
we're
saying
absorbing.
that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
But no one checked.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
It was meant to signal Taka.
Are you saying that
Alright, do I need to absorb
No. If Hifumi was dead, and you know that, surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Absorb.
And that is why the... Are we really... Maybe the announcement...
Was intended to signal someone else's
Oh.
discovery.
Oh, that's not a contradiction, right.
Shoot!
I need to absorb Kyoko, and I need to throw it
Are
at
you
Celeste.
saying that when we first... There's a chance you...
No.
Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body that Hifumi is dead, and that is...
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's
All right.
discovery.
Let's go back to Celeste now. I'm coming,
Are
Celeste.
you saying that when we first... There's a chance you... No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that.
How? Surely you heard the body discovery.
His dead body had been found.
Boom.
No, that's wrong.
All right, Celeste. How do you propose that?
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
So it could have
That's
been
right.
Taka's announcement,
It
because then we
wasn't
heard a
long after
second
finding his
announcement
body
when we
that
found them
heard the
both in the
announcement.
repository.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into
Oh,
one.
don't.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
First time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy
But then there
bum.
was the discovery announcement in the repository, and we'd already seen them dead, which means that someone had died for the first time there, which was probably Hifumi, which means Hifumi was alive.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Boom. It was made in the repository. It was when both bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
And that means Hifumi had been alive.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
Yes.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
And that's the glasses
I
cleaner.
know! Because he was super good at playing dead!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Glasses
Okay,
cleaner.
then. Let's take it. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
It's the glasses cleaner. Let's hope it comes up as a truth bullet, because that's definitely what it is. Hifumi's glasses, Hifumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, well, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
Yeah.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after
I think there's a
being
contradiction
moved,
coming up.
other than the change in how it was positioned,
What?
Shoot!
I'm fairly certain that is a contradiction.
Well, here's one thing we do know.
How
The first
rude.
time we found him, and then his body disappeared.
And the next time, it was in.
But when you compare his body other than the chain, there was
no notable
Ah,
difference.
that's the one I needed to shoot. Okay. I was being too impatient again.
No, that's wrong. In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
And it was a very simple difference.
His glasses.
Yep.
That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office
Good
trash
job,
can.
Makoto. Let's bring it up. Where is it? It's the glasses cleaning prof.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot.
It was an anime.
One look at the
Anime.
blood stain on the cloth
Anime.
should make things clear.
Anime.
This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean, and the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Exactly.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was...
I'm gonna skip that
I
name.
highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to
Yeah, it's
school.
true.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
There you go.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
Oh my god, you're so dumb.
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
Yeah.
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead,
That would mean he's
what
part
was
of
with all
the...
that blood?
Oh, it was from the
Was it
fridge.
paint or something?
The blood packets.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
Then he locked the door to the repository.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository.
But the door was locked. I checked there as well in my investigation too.
But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside.
Which means someone inside had to have locked it.
Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
Yep.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
Yeah, he was probably the one that killed Taka.
I just can't believe
And it makes sense that the whole robot and the hammers would all be from Hifumi because he's the frigging otaku guy.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his
It's the paper
involvement
that
has
was
yet
found
to
in his
be
trousers.
revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto?
It was the scrap of paper in his trousers, so let's go find it. There we go.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Sakura, no.
Okay,
Sakura,
well,
please.
forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole. Monokuma can't find out. Let's meet in the equipment room.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't
Come to
tell
the rec
anyone
room at
else
1
for
a.m.
now.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro.
Taka.
And that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
Really?
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Happy!
No,
Just to
because
be
there was a
clear,
scrap of paper in
TikTok
Taka's
is
hand.
Ugh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
It's a scrap of paper that Ishimaru is holding. That's the one I have to use. Oh.
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said.
Yeah.
What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
The wristwatch! The wristwatch! The broken wristwatch! God, I'm dumb.
Happy had the note, then the person it was must have been Happy! But remember, what time did it... 6 a.m. The time doesn't matter! The note has
Nothing to do with TikTok.
There.
No, that's wrong.
It's pretty simple, really.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered.
Boom!
We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place, written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
How sad.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as
Someone
me.
tricked Taka, killed Hifumi, tricked Hiro, and masterminded this entire plot. Who could it be, guys? It's really obvious.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof?
Oh, I actually have the proof. Okay, let me just get the proof, because fuck you, Byakuya, you little bitch.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap
Just
of
emphasis
paper.
that his hand was lifeless.
If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
There we go.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's
Oh,
note...
the same paper. It was really
Yup.
obvious.
They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from its death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
Yep.
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Which means he probably sent it, you know.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa.
I say we also compare the blueprint handwriting to the note handwriting, please.
Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Shut up.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
Yes.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Yeah, they have that alibi.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
Better be relevant, you bitch.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The spotless hammer.
Weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, According to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
That's actually one of the few useful things I think Hero has ever said in this game. Well fucking done.
But wouldn't that be...
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either.
I could just show them the
Monokuma
spotless
file
hammer.
makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill
I
someone.
mean, a small hammer to the back of the head could kill someone. Theoretically, it could kill someone.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both...
So then, what...
Yeah, it was the spotless hammer. Let's just go, let me get it out. Let me get the spotless hammer thing that I have in here out, because obviously it was cleaned, and it looked more spotless than all the other hammers because they cleaned it to hide the fact that it was killed.
Hifumi?
Killed him.
Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer...
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the... How did nobody witness them tearing it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
God damn it.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the
Well,
Justice...
no.
No, that's wrong.
I found something, guys! That's wrong!
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi.
Yep.
Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
But who could have done that? Who could have got into the repository
I'd also like
at that
to point
point?
out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Or actually nick the hammers from there.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma files.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Yes.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Yep.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together
Well,
with
then
him.
how did he end up dead?
The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did, but still. This is a difficult one. I'm not sure. I don't think it's any of these. I think it's an absorb bullet.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was
But that only really
Oh,
applies if there's
does
one.
Kyoko
In
have
this
one?
case, however, there were 2 murders.
I want it, no, Kyoko, fuck, damn it, fuck.
Based on the rules that have been laid out
I want
for us,
Kyoko's
Even if more than
message,
one-
come on,
only the
back to
one who
Kyoko, come on.
actually- Assuming the rule holds true.
That
Keep
is.
going.
That only really applies if there's one. In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
There we go. Alright, let's get back to Celeste.
Based on the rules, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply
Nope. It's
No,
possible.
that's wrong. Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Yep.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together.
Yeah.
There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate
And
murders.
both escape scot-free.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They
But
made
the
him
other
carry out
person
the first
killed-
murder, so he couldn't
Yeah.
back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple
It
murders.
was two people committing different murders.
Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look.
Yep.
A single suspicious individual, by creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The Mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was
Actually a
part
very
of the plan
genius
from
plan.
the very beginning.
That's just awful.
Also, I've just
How could
noticed she's got a
anyone be so
Monokuma patch
cruel?
on her skirt, by the way. You can see a Monokuma little eye on her skirt.
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Yeah. Kyoko just figured it out like that. But even then, we still don't know who the Mastermind is. I mean,
I
I do,
understand
but...
how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer. Honestly, the only person that could have done this is the person that has been linked to every incident.